They say nature never hides treasure in something beautiful. Sometimes the ugliest, most unassuming rocks conceal the world's most valuable metal, gold. It doesn't glitter on the surface. It doesn't shine from the cliffside. It hides beneath layers of grime, sharp textures, and a skin so unattractive that most people walk past it without a second glance. But what if I told you, those rocks you ignore might be your ticket to unimaginable wealth? Welcome to the secret world of the rocks that guard gold. Today we're going to dive deep into one particular rock that's been called ugly, common, and worthless. Yet time and time again, it proves to be the ultimate gold-bearing monster. It's the one that prospectors chase through jungles, deserts, and riverbeds. The one that ancient civilizations recognized, long before we understood its secrets. And the one that could be sitting right beneath your boots. This is the story of the rock that hides gold, and how to find it before anyone else. Let's start with an uncomfortable truth. Most people looking for gold are looking at the wrong rocks. They search for glittering quartz, shiny flakes, and flashy minerals. But real prospectors know gold doesn't advertise itself, not at first. Instead, it partners with rocks that are tough, grimy, and ignored. And one of the most overlooked of them all is iron-stained quartzite and Gossan. To understand this rock's role in hiding gold, we have to go underground. Gold isn't just found lying on top of the earth. It comes from deep within the crust, transported by hydrothermal fluids over millions of years. And as those mineral-rich fluids move upward, they deposit gold into veins. Veins that are sealed inside rocks that look, well, disgusting. Gossan is a type of oxidized, weathered rock formed when iron sulfides are exposed to air and water. It's rusty, it's reddish-brown. Sometimes it even crumbles like dry cake, and it forms right above gold deposits. But why? Because Gossan is a byproduct of something deeper. Sulfide-rich ore bodies, the kind that often contain not just gold, but silver and copper too. When sulfide minerals like pyrite and chalcopyrite oxidize, they leave behind iron oxides and hydroxides, like limonite and goethite, which stain the rock surface red, yellow, or brown. That ugly crust is your biggest clue. Seasoned miners call Gossan the iron cap, the surface indicator of treasure below. It may look like nothing, but underneath, it often grades into richer and richer ore. Now here's where it gets more interesting. Gossan often contains boxwork textures, hollow cavities left behind by dissolved sulfide minerals. These honeycomb-like patterns are like nature's roadmap to gold. If you see them, take out your hammer. You're in the right place. Because Gossan doesn't look valuable. It's coarse, dull, and rusty. It doesn't sparkle like quartz. It doesn't shine like mica. And it doesn't have the smooth elegance of polished gemstones. But its value is in what it hides. The next time you find a rock with jagged edges, reddish streaks, and a hollow core, don't throw it aside. You might just be looking at a piece of the Earth's most ancient gold vault. Let's talk about where you can find this rock. Gossan often appears near fault lines, shear zones, and hydrothermal vein systems. These are areas where the Earth's crust has been shattered, reheated, and mineralized. It appears in mountain foothills where erosion exposes old rock desert ridges, where iron stains contrast against pale sands riverbanks, where fragments break off from larger deposits upstream. And here's the trick. Gossan forms on the weathered top of the deposit. So if you see it, gold might be directly beneath your feet. Now let's get even deeper. Gossan isn't the only ugly rock that hides gold. In fact, some of the ugliest, blackest, most oily rocks you'll ever see also point to gold's presence. Enter black shale. This organic-rich sedimentary rock might look like burnt toast, but its carbon content plays a role in concentrating gold from surrounding fluids. Gold loves to bind with organic matter. In some regions, black shale layers act like sponges, soaking up mineral-rich fluids and locking away gold. Black shale is often layered, brittle, and crumbly. But when you break it open and spot sulfide specks or smell that subtle sulfur scent, you're onto something. In parts of Canada and Africa, black shale zones are directly tied to gold-bearing formations. And just like Gossan, they're often ignored by amateur prospectors. And then we come to the next suspect, serpentinite. Greenish, waxy, and twisted, serpentinite looks like something dredged up from the ocean floor, and sometimes it is. It forms from the alteration of ultramafic rocks deep in the mantle. And although it doesn't carry gold on its own, it's often associated with gold-bearing quartz veins, especially in places like California's Mother Lode. What makes serpentinite special is its tendency to host fault zones, perfect conduits for gold-carrying fluids. When those fluids find fractures in the rock, they deposit quartz, and within that quartz, microscopic gold. So even though serpentinite looks alien and unattractive, it's a geological signal that tells experienced miners, gold may have passed through here. Let's take a breather. So far, we've learned that ugly rocks like Gossans, black shale, and serpentinite often point to gold. These rocks form in environments where gold-carrying fluids concentrate. Their appearance, rusty, black, greenish, is a natural camouflage. But what happens when these rocks break apart and travel? That's when the real hunt begins. Now let's pair that with a second deceiver, iron-stained quartz. At first glance, it may resemble rusted gravel tossed from an old construction site, but the rusty hue is often the result of oxidizing iron sulfides, which can lead miners to nearby gold veins. That reddish-orange stain isn't just dirt, it's the history of hydrothermal fluids escaping and leaving behind more than just color. But gold doesn't always travel alone. In the crust, it hides in the company of unlikely companions. Let's step into the world of schist, another homely, flaky rock, often mistaken for worthless slate. Its banded appearance, shimmering in silvery or bronze reflections, may not catch the eye of a casual hiker. But for a trained prospector, schist is gold's hiding blanket. Its high mica content and layered structure offer perfect fissures for molten quartz to deposit. And if the temperature and pressure align just right, gold settles in, quietly, stubbornly. But what makes these rocks such powerful vaults for gold? It's not about beauty, it's about structure, chemistry, and pressure. These ugly rocks are survivors. They've been bent, cracked, cooked, and fractured, creating passageways and pockets where hydrothermal fluids carrying dissolved gold can seep through and cool. The uglier the rock, the more tortured its history. And ironically, that tortured history is what makes it such a rich target for gold. Still, you must train your eyes for more than just color. Texture, fractures, and location all matter. A rock with radial fractures, often surrounded by discolored clay or iron oxides, may be a sign of past hydrothermal activity, and what lies just beneath these textures can be mind-blowing. Imagine splitting a seemingly worthless rock in two and finding gold leaves nestled like ancient scrolls. This is not myth. It's the real, raw moment many field geologists and artisanal miners have faced. Now let's talk about geological traps, the structures that hold gold in place within these ugly rocks. One of the most important is the fold hinge zone. Rocks that have been folded under pressure form tight, compressed creases. Gold-laden fluids often concentrate in these hinges. From the outside, these zones just look like chaotic rock masses. But drill through them, and the results can be astonishing. Similarly, fault zones and shear zones are messy, disjointed, fractured bands of rock that, to the untrained eye, appear broken and useless. But they act as gold highways, allowing fluids to move, minerals to deposit, and veins to crystallize. Many modern gold mines are centered entirely around these disfigured, misshapen corridors. But spotting these rocks isn't just about science, it's about timing and terrain. After heavy rains, gold-bearing rocks get washed, revealing new faces and fractures. The mud slips away, the iron stains glisten. Sometimes gold itself peeks out in glints. Riverbanks, stream beds, cliff faces. These become your treasure maps, redrawn by each storm. And while panning and metal detecting remain essential tools, the true advantage lies in recognizing the rocks others overlook. Because that ugly rock, it might not just hide gold. It might be the very lock that guards a geological fortune. Before we close, let's reflect on something powerful. Nature hides its finest treasures, not in glitz, but in grit. Gold often nestles itself within the folds of rocks that look broken, battered, or worthless. These are the survivors, the remnants of Earth's violent, molten past. So the next time you come across a rock that looks too ugly to matter, take a moment, check its weight, scrape its surface, examine its cracks, because deep inside that rough exterior may lie the story of 1,000 years and a treasure waiting to be discovered. Sometimes the most unremarkable stone is the one that will change your life. So next time you step over a cracked, muddy rock, pause. That ugly lump might be nature's dirty little secret. Because when it comes to gold, beauty lies deep beneath the grime. Stay curious, stay muddy, and remember, at EGS Pro, the Earth never hides treasure without a clue.